So, the title of my Dharma talk this morning is Being Guided or Finding One's Own Way. Now, I make it sound black and white when I put it out that way, and it's not that way. It's not just one way or the other. It's really a much more complex back and forth with different of us having different preferences and different proclivities, what comes easier or not to us. Now, in reflective meditation, we do lean in the direction of helping you find your own way, valuing finding one's own way, discovering for oneself what's helpful, what's skillful. And often it's through the reflection that we are best able to do that. And really, I guess I could say we never do guided meditation, though we are really curious when you are following a particular guided script. And they're now called scripts. It didn't used to be called that earlier on when I was doing guided meditation. But we're curious when you do a particular guided meditation, how did that go for you? What developed? What was the process? What was your relationship? How were you with whatever was going on? Not just how did it go, but how were you with that? And since you're meditating here at the Daily Online with your camera off and your audio off, you really do have more choice of what you do. Now, I think many of us, most of us, perhaps, have had experience being guided in meditation. It might be that we've been guided by other teachers and other sanghas and other groups. It might have been in person, perhaps online, but it might not have been even quite like that. We might have read books and blogs and seen that this is the way meditation is. It's guided. And just as the guidance is given in a variety of ways, we take it up in a variety of ways. Perhaps we follow the guidance just as it's spoken, as in a concentration practice. Or we take it up more lightly, maybe just as kind of suggestions of how we might direct things at times in our meditation. Or, and this is what I actually personally found the most valuable when I was doing was being guided in meditation practices, especially Metta practice. It can go in a variety of ways. We could put ourselves down and judge ourselves as feeling less than, less able, less competent, less of an inadequate meditator. We could be harsh in how we regard our experience, or it could just go that we're curious. What got in the way? What were the obstructions? And really explore them and learn from them. So I'm going to use the example of a meditation that's very commonly guided, which is metta meditation. And that's perhaps most commonly translated as loving kindness meditation. So that's not my translation of preference. And if you search the web, you will find, as I did this morning, you will find so many examples of settings in which metta meditation is applied and guided. So when I was taught this, and it's often taught this way, it's a very clear process, although the process I was taught was described in a variety of ways. But a common, maybe most common way is we start with ourselves. We direct loving kindness to ourselves, and then we follow a sequence of expanding that out from self, then to someone we already love, then to someone we feel neutral to, someone we have difficulty with, and ultimately we send it out to all sentient beings everywhere. And often, and along the way that happens is with the repetition of phrases. And common phrases are, may I be happy, may I be free of suffering, may I be safe, healthy. It goes that general direction. They vary, but generally that way. And it's considered a concentration practice. By that it's meant when you're distracted from repeating these phrases and you drop the distractions as quick, and they're called distractions because it's a concentration practice. And that's where that word in meditation comes from, distraction, a distraction from what you're supposed to be concentrating on, what the guidance is telling you to concentrate on. So when you're distracted from that, you, as quickly as you can, come back to the chosen object of meditation, or in the case of metta, the repetition of these phrases. And I'm lifting this part. This is just not my idea. I directly lifted this from the web, from Sharon Salzberg's exact writings. When some other experiences arise, you don't explore it, you don't note it, or try to see its nature, changing nature. So that is really what a concentration practice is, and that is what metta meditation generally is. Not what reflective meditation generally is. We are not mostly directing you in a concentration practice, although with practice, we do find ways that we concentrate and become more absorbed, is another word for it. But it's not because we're guided. We're not telling you how to become more concentrated, and we're not telling you what is a distraction from concentration, or what are the progressions or the signs of concentration. But we're leaving this to discern for yourself, and we'll talk to you about it and help with that discernment, because concentration and discernment really do develop in reflective meditation, but not by telling you how that should happen. So, and I find this so interesting. I love talking to you about how this does happen in your meditation practice, and how this looks or goes or is for you. You might even find yourself repeating those very same phrases and processes commonly taught. Ones, especially if you practice them a lot in the past, it might even seem like you're not even like doing it. It's like sort of doing you, or it's happening on your own. But back more specifically to metta meditation, or to the development of metta. By the way, the translation I choose is friendliness. And as do some monks choose this. So I'm on good ground. In Buddhism, following the way of monks is good ground. I say that a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I also mean it. They're well studied. But maybe we could say we guide you, and we do, towards metta differently, with suggestions at the front end to be gentle and permissive in your meditation. We tell you that whatever you experience is okay, as long as you don't act on some of that stuff, but it's really fine. And really, it's fodder for exploration and learning. And I say this is a very friendly way to invite you into meditation. I hope it feels that way. And I think hopefully we're friendly with you when we talk to you about your meditation in this group where I'm referring to the last 10 minutes, when often a teacher will talk to you about your meditation. I hope this conversation really does feel friendly, kind, caring. And I hope that you get it, that we as teachers actually don't know how your meditation should go, but instead are good friends with you as you navigate this mystery, the mystery of how your meditation does develop. So I'll end the talk here, and welcome.